Alright, we back, and we just saw The Creator. Thoughts?
Against the backdrop of a war between humans and robots with artificial intelligence, a former soldier finds the secret weapon, a robot in the form of a young child. It's the latest movie by Gareth Edwards or Evans.
I don't know who that even is.
He did like Godzilla.
Oh, he did Godzilla? We were dealing with a heavy hitter. How come his movie's
Godzilla, Rogue One. I think those are the big ones.
Before we get into it, let me say the good things about it.
It ended.
There are a couple. The acting was fantastic. Everyone did a good job.
We'll have to revisit that.
We're talking about The Creator, right?
We'll have to revisit that.
I thought the acting was solid, to be honest.
I thought the kids did a good
Yeah,
job.
the kid did the best job.
with what they got.
Was that Ken
Maybe the
Watanabe
script,
there,
the
by
script,
way?
Yes, it was. Wasn't it? It was.
The dialogue.
I thought it was him, but I
Questionable.
don't know. Cause, maybe he's like it's some guy that looks like him.
And the visuals, solid.
Yeah.
Nothing amazing, but solid.
Robot shots.
Hybrid robot humans,
Cool
decent.
shots throughout.
Cool shots.
Some cool technology, different
Sound
uses
design, on point.
of kind of visualizing what technology would be and the different kind of
Alternate
robot
universe.
inventions and stuff. And that's about it. That's good with this movie, in my opinion.
It was also very long. I guess we were talking about good things. I'm sorry I went to that, but
Yeah, hey, good
Very
things.
long.
A lot of people probably got gainful employment because that movie got made.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
The budget was probably larger than it looked.
that's there's lots.
I think
lots
he
of
wasn't
shots.
working with a massive budget, so I'll give him props for.
I'm curious. It's probably on IMDb what the budget was.
yeah, that was a big budget film. I'm sure. If John
Over
Denver
100
Washington is in it, it is a really big budget, and they did not
But
get their money's worth.
not like this is. I would say compared with Marvel or like a superhero movie,
Well, we're
they
not doing that.
probably were more efficient with this budget,
A lot of,
and it looked good. It looked decent.
It did look decent. Visually, I didn't mind even the robot heads.
Yeah, I thought that was actually kind of cool.
Yes,
The design.
extremely low.
That's lower than any Marvel movie.
Yeah.
So
By
like half.
several times. Yeah.
I guess.
I was like,
But
$500
it
million.
wasn't coming with any Marvel type. You know what I mean? Like, nothing was over the top. It was all kind of just that basic
I feel like even the big emotional
explosions,
moments weren't over the
explosions
top.
and robot
All the
heads.
times they should have gone over the top, they didn't. Except for I feel like the beginning went hard when he like betrayed his fucking girl, and she was like, "You're a fucking spy," and then they fucking die, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, it did start
And
out
then
pretty
it's like,
hot,
okay,
but then
yeah.
it didn't
Then
maintain the
immediately
scene.
lost just more and more energy.
I mean,
as it
to
went
be
along.
honest, I don't even think it started great. Like,
Yeah.
was
Well, it
such
started with a lot of
you-
beats. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Good, impactful beats, and then it just kind of stalled out.
The first
Like-
5 minutes, I mean, the whole movie felt like longer than it was, and it was a long movie. I feel like, honestly, my rating
Yeah.
went down. Like, originally,
It just felt like, okay, so overall, it just felt like a director that's obsessed with Asian culture, that wanted to do this kind of AI kind of savior movie,
Where they killed
and
the Americans.
I gotta say,
you know.
some pretty graphically just horrific depictions of, like, war violence.
yeah, they were
Really
clearly like
pretty.
influencing like Vietnam, or, like referencing Vietnam, but it was like a mishmash of all different types of Asian people in
Yeah,
one
how
place
come
that didn't
America
make any
exists and
sense.
it's New Asia. Like America's still there, but then it's now it's
America
New
is
Asia that just
evil.
incorporates
No,
all
New
of it.
Asia was
Yeah,
against.
right, like,
Yeah.
Well, but
Yeah,
I'm
the
saying
West.
it's like how come America? It's like New Asia. What does that even sort of
And it was
reduces
all-
this very complex continent to like just
Well,
this
because
what?
that was New Asia.
I know,
That was
like,
old
it's just
Asia.
like
you think about old Asia.
Some white dude was just
Yeah,
obsessed with
New
Asian
Asia.
and wanted to create this like, you know, because the
happened?
West is like all about technology and all this stuff, and the crux of it is like, oh, the AI sent off this nuclear weapon, but it was actually a human coding error, and so that was like extremely ridiculous.
I knew that was gonna be. That wasn't even a spoil. Like I fucking knew that was gonna
yeah.
be it. Like that was
Honestly,
so
no
dumb.
Beats where it was like that should have been like a, oh fuck moment, and it just every
It
single
never.
thing went flat. When they're like, oh,
That was a good way to put it. It went flat. Everything hit flat. It's like the elements were there.
Yeah.
They just weren't landing.
Yeah,
And
like-
also, it just wasn't. What was it trying to say? Like, wasn't anything very
I
interesting.
think that it was trying to say that
Like it was
it's okay
boring.
to
It was-
marry
it
a
was-
robot.
You know what would have been great?
It was
honestly,
very
is
uninteresting.
At like,
That's what
the
I got.
very end, like the wife gets plugged back in, and she's like, this is my fucking plan. You just doomed humanity. We're gonna kill all you. Like you just fucked up.
That would have been hot. I'm here
manipulated
for that.
you. You know, like we made it this fucking kid because we knew you wouldn't be able to pull the
Yeah,
trigger.
it was like all the trick. And
That would've
he
been-
was
I
the
was-
crux of the trick.
I
Like
was
I knew
trying-
you'd bring him here.
My fingers were fucking crossed. I'd go like some fucking dark knife twist like that, where it's like
Postable,
you
right?
fucked
Yeah.
up, you know, and like and now AI wins, better or worse, like humanity's done and whatever. And I wish that was like that kind of mustache twirling villain
Well,
reveal.
that would have been way better than what I just witnessed. Unfortunately.
It like I started
Very
at
disappointing.
the opening
Very
scene. I was like, this is like 7.5, 8, whatever. I'm like, maybe a little bit higher.
I
And then
started at 8.
I
yeah.
ended
I really
at like maybe like a
thought it was
5.5 to
ridiculous.
6, something like that. Like it just kept, and I kept looking at my fucking phone and saying like, oh my god, this has only been like, it's only been 25 minutes, and then it's only been like whatever. It just felt so.
Alfie! Alfie!
long.
Alfie! I'm like, bro, shut up.
It was
Okay,
like so
I get it.
aggressively just like uninteresting for so much that was happening and like this big crazy whole like fucking world with all I liked I mean so what was I didn't get a sense for what is the society of like all the robots who look like they're wearing human faces and people with weird little like Roombas on their heads who are like the other but then,
Those were just robots. Those are
Yeah.
like the
The
robots.
original.
So-
yeah,
Those are
yeah,
government,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
They don't
robots.
wanna get rid of
Government people are
those.
still using AI. So what the fuck is?
That's what
going
I'm
on?
saying. Like they were still using AI the whole
thing, I
time.
just
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
really confused like the writers felt confused.
I don't think they
and I
felt
was-
confused. I think they saw a vision that they could not convey.
And
Yeah,
just
that's
too
probably-
many Asian
Yeah.
people dying for no reason.
Well, there's
And speaking like
lots
a
of
bunch
bombs,
of different
yeah.
languages and
Yeah.
have Japanese characters, but like
It's just New Asia.
It's
You
New
can't
Asia,
wave
don't
away.
ask too
It's
many
just like-
questions, bro.
It's like saying,
you
oh
wouldn't-
yeah,
you
we're going
wouldn't clump
to.
in.
now you know
fucking
how it
everyone.
feels when everyone says Africa as the continent, but it's like they say it like a country.
It's like just very reductive of just like literally. I mean, all the really
Yeah.
important shit. They're just like literally like they wanted to use a visual. They wanted to spend for whatever reason any time of 2 hours plus explaining just like sort of basic stuff about like the plot. They wouldn't want us to like really like. I feel like, oh god, the stakes are so fucking like you guys are saying, oh, we're gonna destroy AI, but then they're using AI, and then like, oh, we have to like.
I don't know what the stakes were.
They had, like,
Just give me, like
Yeah.
what's
All right,
the
maybe,
point
maybe,
of them saying it was
maybe
like
I'm
a
stupid
human
here,
error,
right?
if-
Like, all right, they had the big fucking floating ship, and
Right,
then
right.
like at the
No
end they had
Nomad.
all different missiles, and every place had the blue light, but it was only one ship. How
I
come there
was
like,
literally thinking, is this an oversight? They could not have not
so
thought of this.
shit like that though. That I
What?
feel like that's the whole thing. They just didn't want to spend time. Like, thinking about that. They have, like,
How is
okay,
the? Yeah, it's everywhere around the
We're
earth,
gonna
and they're
have-
shooting the missiles.
it's-
I'm like,
it-
how can you scan everything with one ship?
It felt like
Yeah,
a way more boring
So
Zack Snyder
stupid.
movie where it's like you could tell
blue
they.
beam
They have like
it's-
the fucking
it's-
concept
it's a
art.
typical
Okay, it's
thing,
gonna be
too.
like a
It's, like,
fucking
not that
Shaolin monk with a robot, and he's gonna blow up, and it's gonna be great.
What
How do
the
we get there? Whatever. You know, it's just gonna happen. It's gonna be cool.
It was a lot of
It's
it just
just
was
like,
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Man, I'm really glad to have
Oh.
the ANCA list, so I didn't
This was
have to pay
Yeah.
individual
You did pay
sacrifice.
extremely
for it.
disappointing.
Yeah.
No,
I was at
I
least-
told you, John David Washington.
I was at least
But honestly,
hoping for something
I
interesting.
feel like he's a good
I think
actor.
he did a
I've
good
seen him
job.
do
I
good
will stand
acting.
by.
Can we not say that right now?
I think
Wow.
I think the acting was solid.
Yeah,
I think that
what
now was this better or worse than Tenet?
For what was he supposed
Equivalent,
to do?
bro.
It was pretty.
Oh, dude, Tenet was great.
Oh,
we don't have to
God.
get into
That's
We
a whole
have to-
other can of worms right
Yeah,
there.
let's
It was
just-
be-
yeah,
I think
let's
Tenet
just
might have
chill.
been like.
John David
better.
Washington doesn't
It was
need to be in
shorter.
any more
Dude,
films.
I
No more
absolutely
films
love
from him.
Tenet.
I thought that he
It's a
sounded
vibes movie, though.
so much like Denzel when
Me
he was
too,
talking.
bro, that was
if
scary.
they deep faked him in, that would have been better.
Yeah, I think
Right?
I would have liked the movie more.
He's an AI.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it kept reminding me how much Denzel Washington is a better actor than his son. Honestly.
He had too many like emotional scenes, but he's not like that kind of actor to me. Like I don't know.
I really wish the wife
know.
came back and got to be evil.
I thought he was
at the
having
end
fun.
or something. If they like,
I thought he was having some fun.
you know,
Maybe a little bit too much.
Some quippy quips.
there. Oh man, what was
Quippy
like,
quips. Yeah, right.
I'm trying to think of. There's a couple jokes that were just sort of like these surprising jokes and whatever. That was just
Like the off thing. I like the off thing. You know.
Yeah,
The kid
yeah.
with what? Robot got shot and he's like it's off, and then the dude got shot and he's like oh he's just off.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
You know,
that
it kind
was
of humanized
great.
the
Yeah,
robots a
that
little
was
bit.
It's
yeah.
just funny. It's like kind of like like the early Samurai Jacks when they have the robot blood instead of human blood. And if you think about like if this was his person, like he literally puts a pistol to the kid's head and shoots, and like the guy about to run in the bunker, and then he's like, and it's like all these like, and the people just being mowed down. It's like Jesus, if this is like
Yeah.
so fucking like far, they're going out of their way just to kind of be brutal with like what they're showing, but then what is behind it Just like, I mean, I
It's
guess
America, bro.
Yeah, just
America. That's what's behind it. Just
like,
America.
America, just
Control room. There's just
imperialism,
control room in America.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like it's like they wanted to do like sort of a thing about how Vietnam was bad and whatever, and American imperialism was bad, but then they had the AI thing that they didn't really know
Yeah,
what to do
just
with.
get into any viewpoint, because the AI kind of perspective is like, oh, they do kind of feel things a little bit, but they don't even really
Are they-
have too much of that perspective.
Why
It's
was the
mostly
kid
for
special? Like I did not
You can control
understand.
robots.
Okay, but
And
they're like,
Did he-
so
oh,
why
a
didn't
kid?
he use his
Why-
powers
He
too
did
for every
control.
single?
What do you mean he was controlling hella robots?
Why
Were we
did
not
they-
watching the same
Why-
movie?
how come people are like,
When he
oh,
did the little
kid,
prayer
what, like,
thing?
how come
No,
people
that's what I'm saying. Like
Okay.
he could have used that, or she. It's a,
Oh,
it's a
she.
It's a she.
It's an
Okay,
it.
yeah.
They
Are there
could have
no-
used that like so many times that I could have thought of. That why didn't they just? Why didn't she? Yeah,
Because she
like you
couldn't
said,
use
they
the
didn't.
powers. That's what they
didn't,
said. Like she couldn't
explain
control
it that
them.
much. Like
Remember they were like trying to build it up, like in the future
that.
she'll be strong. She's not ready yet.
and it's
Yeah,
like
so it's
2
like-
seconds later
Yeah.
she could speak English. 2 seconds later she could.
She read the book.
Do powers. 2 seconds later she could do.
Yeah.
Don't you know how it is?
So
When you
there-
just read a book, you
so
know
there
English.
are no
don't
kid robots because everyone's like, oh, it's weird. It's a kid robot, huh? And whatever. It's like, why is it?
Because they never
there's
built
no
kid
other
robots.
ones.
But, I mean, yeah, the whole thing was
The
weird.
creator
Except
chose
for
to
her.
make kid
They
robots.
had the
Except
whole
for,
beginning montage with going like
Matra.
all the fucking film reels about like, oh, robots progressing. It really would have helped if they gave any more concrete timeline about like what the fuck, how come they, why would they never build? If they have the Roomba heads, why are they making fake face robots?
Support
And how
your
come-
AI and
How come they
donate your
never had
likeness.
like? How come they never had kid versions of that? That's the first thing people
You have
would
to be
do.
18 to
Like,
donate
yeah,
your
like the
likeness,
fucking-
Jim. Duh.
I guess.
Everyone knows
It's
that.
like
That's
a-
problematic.
The
That's a
Haley
little bit
Joel Osment
problematic.
AI
That's-
fucking thing.
you
That's
know.
like that. I feel like that's the first thing
Nah,
that people
you
do.
gotta
Trying to
get
get
it,
a
bro.
kid back or whatever. Like,
Yeah, you can't know kids.
oh man, yeah.
Imagine Epstein's Island if they had
Oh,
robo
fuck.
kids. Like, come
I
on.
I mean, they
now.
had some interesting
Actually-
threads with like the, you know, kind of religious kind of stuff with you know, heaven and stuff, like going to heaven. And,
Oh, at the robot Buddhist
I mean,
temple.
did they even really talk anything about it besides just saying
Nope.
like into heaven? There
Just
was
a
like
couple of lines.
No, but they could have.
Was the thing.
Oh shit! I wish they
Right.
explored that. I
Gotcha.
wish they could
Yeah.
have
That's
ran
what I
with
thought
that.
at first.
That would've been
I
good.
guess they never brought that in.
Because they did, well, he looked at it, you know what I mean? When it was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's the
But
place
there
in the
could have been a
sky.
lot
He's
of-
like, oh.
Yeah.
There could have been a lot of stuff with like morality between AI
That
and
would've been
humans,
good.
but they really didn't.
I thought
That
that's
would
what they were
actually
leaning into at first, and they just, they
I mean, if
dropped
they,
the ball.
they went to the monastery, they could have used that as they just get straight up exposition about the morality of it. That would have been built in. And they didn't. And you know, they could have had people explain and like, you know, the building
Yeah, it
block
was
fucking
weird.
letters. But yeah, I didn't read any reviews going in.
I didn't either.
I had
I
no
went
idea.
blind
I
and-
knew that the trailer looked like kind of whelming.
My friends had said some stuff, but I told them, like, don't say anything, I gotta
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
But their
I
reactions
heard
when
it
I was
was
like,
like-
gonna see it, were like,
But
Yeah,
even
like,
I heard it was like,
hey,
man,
bro, you got A-list.
but even I was more disappointed even knowing that it wasn't that good. So
I kind of wish I had
like,
my
it was
expectations
straight up
set appropriately.
bad.
I wish I
like it wasn't even.
Yeah, the trailer looked like I've seen shitty. Like, you guys ever see that Matt Damon movie where it's like, or like the Chappie or whatever, you know, like those
I don't know
fucking.
the Chappie.
Yeah, like it reminded me of
Chappie
like
was
the.
okay.
What was that? What, for
It's
what
like-
it was
it's-
cool.
But the fact that we have to go like, you know, like this one here, it's
Fair
like
enough.
it's sort of like it looked like it was gonna be like that, and I honestly was more disappointed.
yeah, I
Like,
wasn't.
that was.
Wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
No matter what you guys say, John David Washington is a weak link to me, and I want to like him
I
because
think
I
he
like
did a
this.
terrible
He
job. I
was
thought he was
saving.
like.
No, my God,
It
that
was
little
entertaining
kid.
to watch.
I-
I feel like if it was
yeah.
anyone else, it
The
probably
only
would
time
have been even worse.
I've seen him in like a couple things. I liked him.
He
I
was-
saw one episode of Ballers.
impressed
I
with
thought he
that.
did good in that, and then I hated Tennant. It was like fine. It was okay.
It was okay.
It was.
It was a
I didn't
vibes
hate.
movie.
Hate is a long word. No, it's just I thought it was up
vibes.
its own ass. Like kind of like the creator was. I thought he was.
Yeah,
just
but
like,
there was stuff to chew on in there.
I
That
feel like
was
he did a better job in the creator than he did in Tenet.
There
At least
was stuff
He
to
didn't have
chew
any
on.
emotions in Tenet. He was just sort
Okay,
of like,
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Actually, he was really dry then.
I
He's
mean,
still pretty dry,
he
but he's
was
not
dry-
as
He
dry.
didn't move his like expression at all, but at least he was like raising the volume of his voice in this one. You know.
Yeah, he had his
He had all the tears already
Yeah.
free. You know,
Oh
they
my
dabbed
God.
his eyes for all the sad. He's like, you know, like.
Like fucking like they dab him with the cotton. It's like
Yeah,
cotton swab
bro,
on his
it's
fucking
too-
cheek.
oh man.
That was pretty bad. Oh my god.
What?
It's like there's a shot, a cutaway when they have a fake tears. He's like watching like the video or something. I don't even remember what the thing was. You know, it's funny. Sorry. So just as
What's
the
going
timeline may
on?
confusing for hindsight fans, but I just saw X in theaters, and they used the weird kind of like cross-cutting with like jumping in time, the weird kind of you know what I mean? The
Yeah, that was
transitions.
awesome.
And they were doing that in this, and it did not work.
No, they were
It
doing it
was
different
like-
though. They were doing it like
They were like
It
very
was-
conveniently when he needed to know information.
It was like
they would
a
come
weird
back.
exposition
Like,
jump.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that one was like
It's like-
cinematic
yeah,
at X.
it's
This
like
one was like,
a
oh,
successful
now we're
version.
cut back to the.
Yeah, yeah.
We're back
When
in
we
like
need to
20
know
years
more
ago. Now we're
about-
10 years
more
ago.
about their
Now we're present again.
relationship.
Like,
Yeah.
It did remind me of like a
God.
lifeless Zack Snyder movie, if there you can say such a thing. You know what I mean? Because I feel like he does a lot of the non-linear shit like that, and
For
like
sure.
half-baking character motivations just to get a cool image and whatever, and just like some fucking.
Well, he
At
pulls
least
it off
Zack Snyder
better.
has some
Yeah.
cool, like action
I
shots.
think
There
he
wasn't
pulls
even
it off
that many
better.
in here.
Yeah, there
But this wasn't that kind of movie. It was just
No.
a rerunning,
It would've
running
been
and trying to
better,
protect the
honestly,
kid.
if
It was like, what is that movie? The Children of Men?
that was a fucking great.
I feel like it
version
wanted
of
to
One
be
of the
this.
greatest movies of all
I feel like
time.
it wanted
This
to be
was
that.
such a shitty
Like
version
a
of Children of
sci-fi
Men.
version
That's a
of
good
that.
comparison. Just,
Yeah.
I mean, this movie suffers badly by comparison to Children of Men, but that's an apt comparison because it's the same thing. It's
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
kind
going
of. I
for.
mean, there's not
Yeah.
the it's escorting a mission, whatever.
Yeah.
Escort,
The Last Up.
Yeah,
You're escorting the Last Up.
of Us.
I never seen
I
that
thought you
show.
were
I
gonna
never
say The
played
Last
the
of
game.
No, I've never seen that.
People say
That's
it's good
similar,
though.
too.
It's on my list of like fucking things to watch. Last of Us. I also gotta see
Oh,
Chernobyl
dude,
by
yeah.
the same.
I
dude.
mean,
but
yeah, video games.
yeah, I
better,
feel like
but-
Gareth Edwards there. Rogue One was a fucking hit. People love
Oh,
Rogue
yeah,
One.
Definitely was a
he
hit.
did
I feel like he should have gone
Definitely
smaller
did.
for his next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, did
granted,
he write the scripts?
he did the script and
He
the
did.
story.
Yeah,
He
I'm like, his
credits.
name came up too much. I was like,
He's
okay.
a good director, maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, chill,
I mean,
chill.
It's not. I feel like Rogue One so far is his best movie because I've even seen that dude's indie thing, the Monsters. He did a Monsters movie
I
that
haven't
had
seen
like
that.
no monsters. It was okay.
I like the
I like
idea. That's a cool
It's like
concept.
it made
The
sense.
Godzilla
Yeah, Godzilla
remake-
had like
remake was
very
good.
little Godzilla, so it was like a natural transition for like I feel like-
Godzilla was okay.
I guess I could
Yeah,
see his
Godzilla was
obsession
okay.
with like Asian culture and Japanese culture.
He hate us because he ain't us.
But that was Ken Watanabe though, right? Because I was
Yeah,
driving
it
me
was
crazy.
him, it
It
was
was
him.
like in
It
X,
was
I was
Robot
like,
Kid.
was that Kid Cudi? I was like the entire time I was like, is it? And it's the same
Robo
experience. But
Kid.
I was like,
Robo
you know,
Kid.
like okay, I thought it was that guy, but I don't, because he did have robot ears, and Ken Watanabe doesn't have robot ears in real life.
Well,
so,
okay.
how's it throw me?
I guess I never
Robot
noticed
ears,
that he
yeah.
didn't have those in
Yeah.
real life.
Those are alright.
Yeah,
I didn't mind. It bothered me at first, like the little weird, like robot heads, but then I was just like,
Well,
there's
I feel
robot
like the fact
heads.
that everyone-
Yeah, you're on that.
Everyone was like that. I was like, why is the kid special? Like, okay, he can like kind of. They had the visual of him doing the prayer hands and making things, but then it's like, he looked exactly. John David Washington was like, oh, like what's
Yeah,
up with
been
this
to-
kid? And underneath in the
But
cage.
remember when the dude
And
looked in
he's
his
like-
head, he said it like,
Yeah, he
this
was-
is so advanced, and I've
like-
never seen anything like this.
I guess. I mean, it made.
Like, I'm dead.
Like how? Like
Yeah.
what?
Like what even was like?
He's super souped up.
Yeah.
Hey.
It was
What
like.
was her
He
deal?
must have had some extra discs.
Need a little bit more
Yeah,
time in the
like,
oven.
make it
there.
right.
Nirvana.
You know, yeah.
Nirvana's
yeah.
deal.
Nirvana
She
was.
like
Who's Nirvana?
She was the wife.
Gemma
Oh,
Chan or
Nirmada?
whatever.
Nirmada.
The creator?
Nirmada, yeah.
That's probably what it is.
Maya?
Nirvana.
Maya Ramada. I mean, I guess I can kind of see it.
Oh, I
right?
saw.
Like the name.
Like in
You
my
saw
head,
that
I was
coming?
like, that's his son.
Well, that.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
that
for
very
sure.
beginning.
That
Yeah.
even that was like, come on,
I
give me
really
more.
wish that they ran with the fact that
Who
his
else
wife
could it
is
be?
the fucking target that he was going with, and if she was either more of a villain or if he had to like kill her.
Well, he
that would've
did have
been-
to kill her, but it
I mean,
wasn't
he
like
did,
the
but no, it
dramatic
was
kill.
sort of like a,
Yeah.
just,
there.
nothing.
Yeah,
the
laying
whole
there.
time,
It's
She
like-
literally did nothing.
Just
That's not the opening scene. She did it. I mean, I thought that was when they were first having their interaction when the bomb's about to go off. I like that. If the movie was like that and maybe a half hour shorter, that would have been something, where they just sort of had more of like a personal, like if like, Jesus, I don't know. I mean, there's anything besides what we just saw, which was fine. It was,
Why
like,
did Kid Watanabe not want him to see her
Oh yeah.
if he knew that she was just a comatose like vegetable? Like, what the fuck was the point
How
of
come the
that?
kid had to drag her into the garden to put the chip in her head? Why didn't he do it in the room where he first found her?
Honestly, who knows?
That's like, I mean,
And that whole thing was completely.
it didn't go anywhere. How come she wasn't
completely
pissed at him
useless.
last time?
well,
she
he got
saw
his
him?
little moment at the very
Yeah.
end,
Like
but I
she
was like,
literally was pointing a gun
okay.
at him the last time. Or she was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna go away and be like this person." And then like, why was she like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you, my love." They wanted to kill each other. Like like she was like, "Fuck you," and ran away. And then she blew up or whatever the fuck, or didn't blow up. So she did survive.
she did survive, and the kid died,
Everyone
and then
survived.
she just. Nah, I mean, pretty much most people died.
I
Like,
mean,
everybody
okay.
had their one like scene, and then they were
Yeah,
dead.
yeah.
No, it's like,
Yeah,
I
but it
mean,
was kinda-
in the boat in the beginning,
Like
like,
he was like, I just want to hold her.
Jenna
one more
Chan was
time.
there,
I guess
Ken
that was
Watanabe was there, the
kinda
random robot who
poetic.
spoke English, the only robot who
Which
spoke
one?
English.
Who's that? Who?
the dude who
I
was
thought
like.
all of them could speak in English. It
Could
was
they?
just
I
like
feel like most of them
we
were
were
speaking,
hearing
like-
whatever language. I don't know.
Oh, well, all right. The Roomba heads
So.
would like
Roomba.
speak kind of like.
English. They're speaking English, weren't they?
Well, there's
Roomba
at
heads?
least one. There's one featured robot who was like kind of had a little bit of like an articulated like pincer mouth and whatever, and he's the one.
Oh,
who
yeah.
almost, like,
He wasn't speaking English, he
He
was,
"Oh," and then he blew up. Or
He
whatever.
spoke English
spoke-
and Japanese.
Okay. So the point is, I think he was in the beginning too, right? So like everyone, all the characters who went in the beginning who got bombed, somehow miraculously, except for I guess the unborn son or child.
But they're robots, bro. That was what they were
But
saying.
then
They can come back.
Janet
Remember,
Chan wasn't a robot. She survived long enough to build the bait. Somehow,
she
how did they
already
get
built the baby. Remember, she finished it before that night.
Did they show them like
Yeah,
removing it? How
because
did
she
they
was
get, like-
always tied to him.
Yeah.
So,
from him.
so is the thing that makes a robot special is that it grew from an embryo into a robot, like its gears kept growing too?
I
Or
don't
like
know.
how did that?
Bro, we didn't get
Because
that
it was,
deep
it
into
was like an embryo. Oh, she made an embryo.
Yeah, it was an embryo. It was a copy of the
Okay.
embryo. Or,
So does it keep? I mean,
So she copied
But she
her
put some
own-
Wi-Fi in it, so
Oh,
it's an
okay.
embryo plus Wi-Fi.
yeah, it's like and the embryo is Neo from the Matrix, but then it doesn't use any powers.
It
so-
used the power. Why I keep saying
But
that?
it like kind of did, but then
Okay,
also
hold
didn't.
up. It ran through the Nomad. It
Yes.
did stop the Nomad's power core.
Yeah,
Okay, it stopped the bomb runner.
yeah.
Okay, give me more. Controlled the plane.
It started cars. It's,
Okay, yep, did the cars. Give me more. Come on.
oh,
It was
man.
powers was
It used
getting
it
used.
used it
Yeah.
several times.
Like
but-
it was going crazy.
feel
Why
like-
couldn't it have used it just
Decent amount.
everywhere? they
Because
have
it
at
wasn't
any
strong
time?
enough. But yeah, it should have just went into Nomad and just stopped the whole
I mean,
thing
I
and been
didn't-
done.
But I
Yeah.
guess there was like
Yeah.
limitations because she could only hold it or it
I mean, I feel like they
for
kind
like
of
a
went
certain
full
amount of time
in
because like
on the
it
fact
was like
that
turning on and off. Like,
it's like okay, all
going back.
humans are bad, robots are good. So then but then I feel like they completely skip over the fact that there's like this one individual, robot or human, will have complete power over the entire world. They'll be able to control all machines once they get older. And it's like this is gonna be like this god emperor.
That's what
the
they were
queen.
saying the
And
whole
it's like,
time.
so what about the moral implications of that? They could have talked about, okay, John David Washington, this person's gonna become like this unstoppable. No one will be able to stop this person once they take control.
Well, that's why it has to have
Well,
a good heart.
yeah, that's why you have to.
But then
train
they
it.
didn't
You
talk
have to
about
train
that
it.
at all.
They
It
did,
was
you
like-
know, just wants to
No way to
protect
stop
humans
it.
too.
They sort of like said that in
I
passing.
mean, I don't
and-
even think that's that interesting either. But
Well, but the point is they said it, and it's like kind
They-
of like
it was a
okay,
lot of misses. I
you
mean, a
know?
lot of things were introduced and then not really
we've
ripped on
seen a
at all.
million robots take over the world movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
legit. I would have been happy if
That's
this ended like that, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping it would go
I
there.
really wish
but-
that they did the thing where Gemma Chan was like, haha, you fucked up, you fell for my long con.
Yeah.
5 year.
Yeah,
Like, it was
like
clear
I
as,
knew
like,
you would
AI
like
is
plug in my
good.
kid to
AI
like,
is not dangerous. AI can help us. That's the,
I didn't buy it though.
like the
like-
West is better because they embrace AI. You know, or I mean
Even-
the East. Sorry.
Well,
the East.
they blew them up. So
Far East.
yeah, and a bunch of places still got blown up, and then like
can there not be talk of a nuke in LA? I didn't like that at all.
Oh
was-
yeah,
I
LA was,
like
was
that
the
either,
place.
yeah.
how
That
come
kind of made me.
why would if they had
oh.
Nomad Command Center in LA, how come shutting down the ship turned off all Nomad stuff?
Because Nomad is in the sky.
But
Yeah, I
then,
don't know.
but then the dude, the
mean
fucking
sky.
the general throat cancer there was like in LA in the fucking command center. You know what I mean? Like he was like,
Oh, he wasn't.
I think he was in.
He,
the
I thought he
fucking-
was in Nomad.
No, because they had a thing on the bottom of the screen. It's like, oh, Nomad Command Center, LA.
Oh, you're right. Because they
And then-
left LAX to go to Nomad. You're right. You're right.
And the
you're
fact,
right.
I mean, the fact that apparently you can go to the moon commercially. That's
Yeah.
a
That
was
fucking-
cool.
That was a cool thing. They should have made a movie
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Well, they
that's
actually
okay.
completed LAX like 100 years in
Oh
the
my
future.
God,
That was
it took-
exciting.
It took like
Yeah.
100
You know?
years, but they finally got the fucking
100
nailed
years
it.
later.
even the little cell phone
Finally
kind
put
of
the
things
tram
were
on
cool,
there.
the little
Or the cell
screen
phone.
things.
I don't know what you're
I like the
talking
sound
about.
design
The
for
phone,
the
the
movie.
pictures.
The little yeah.
That were like
screen
GIFs.
things.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
I feel like
it's
they played
a
that
flat
game.
digital image, like
Like-
literally not that much more technical.
Yeah, it's just a paper GIF.
I feel like
But,
they played the game Cyberpunk and were like, let's
but
make this
the holograms
shittily
were
into a
interesting.
movie.
Shittily.
What holograms?
Yeah.
Just like the little playback kind
It's
of.
like the blocks. Of
Oh, like okay, when it's like when
wife.
she's alive,
Those
when he
kinda-
saw
and
that
like,
happen.
and like
Yeah,
2
yeah.
pixels on her face.
It
And
was,
that's
it
my
was,
wife.
it was
Yeah.
happening in 3D.
God.
It was like 2D and 3D because it felt like
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the layer.
flat,
Yeah, yeah,
flat,
yeah.
But like you could see it from different perspectives. So
Yeah.
that was-
That was interesting. I guess.
I've
yeah.
seen worse movies, but I don't know if I've seen any worse movies in theaters this year.
I
I
have.
probably have. I didn't like Last Voyage of the Demeter more than this, I think.
I should have saw that one.
That was
the-
some
that
missed
was-
potential. It had some cool shit, but just like, just wasn't quite
I like
there.
The other one more than
What?
this.
Which-
That, the
Demeter?
Demeter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I think
sad.
I mean, I
was
remember
like a
during that one
Dracula
being
show.
like, I fucking hate this. But then at the same time, there was stuff about that was pretty rad. Like they did kill the kid in that movie. Spoilers, hindsight.
Whoa.
No, there's
no,
okay.
you spoiling
There's-
a whole other movie.
No, it's well. The point is, at least they had some fucking balls in that movie to like do something like that. I mean, this was just sort of like graphic, disturbing violence with no kind of like anything behind it. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
they're just robots. They're just turned off.
Yeah, right.
I guess they were
But
killing a
then-
lot of people.
But then
when I
you
think
can
about
get the robot gets shot. It's
Yeah.
Ken Watanabe's chest got blown out like a Wile E. Coyote cannonball through his chest there, and
Yeah,
then
he was fine,
got up
though.
and he was fine. So like all other robots are okay, or like how do you?
Yeah, they just come back. Isn't that's what I understood?
I guess.
And if
yeah.
you're human, you can come back too. They just scan your brain and then they
Yeah,
plug you in,
sure.
and then what am
I
I
feel
doing?
like-
You're done.
So they
You're back.
kinda-
That's
wait, yeah, they totally like you can have
AI
immortality.
never dies.
How come that was not the fucking plot of the movie? Humans can become literally immortal. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's like
Also,
that
you can
shit-
take chips out, so it's like, why get sad about a robot dying?
like you can literally like that's a huge plot point. That's like I mean,
Alright.
Yeah.
you know, it's
But
funny.
it's like it's
Like,
on the
is it-
side of AI, but it's also showing like the scary kind of realities of AI. And the kid's like this. The wry smile is the last shot. He's like smiling.
Why
I thought it was
did-
kind of like
My God, what the evil of AI? Like yes.
I thought it was
Let
kind
it
of
bend.
like
man.
take over the world kind of.
The AI
style.
wrote the fucking movie actually.
That would have been if they revealed that the kid was evil.
Oh,
that would have been
shit.
fucking awesome. Oh my god, because at least that would have been like okay, that would have like retroactively. Made
Yeah,
the
just
whole thing.
reframed everything.
Because then you
yeah.
could rewatch it and be like, oh my god, he's just gonna destroy the world and whatever. That would have been fucking great, but they didn't do
Well,
it.
Maybe
you
I
don't
know.
like that.
Both
You
his
don't
parents
like
are
that.
dead. Anything
Yeah.
could happen.
I guess. I mean, it was like a really shitty, lifeless avatar, kind of, right?
Okay, I can
You
take
know what
that.
I mean?
can
Because
take
I guess
that.
they even have avatar
I was
technology.
thinking
They can like fucking bring back the people in a new body. You
Yeah.
can just endlessly spawn bodies.
Yeah.
When my guy came back and he like had been dead for a minute and he's like looking at himself like, my
That was-
wife.
That was fucking
Yeah.
sick.
Crazy.
That was they should have made a
That
whole
was
movie about that,
crazy.
man. That was like that technology. That like it literally. That was more interesting than what the movie actually was.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that
They
scene
did
was
it
cool
once.
because it was like, yeah,
Yeah,
you
like-
could see him like his priorities
And
really
then, like,
flashing
the
before his
wife
eyes. Like,
Plugged in another, but,
Yeah.
but then he. Are you talking about when they plugged in the other
Yeah.
guys?
into the other guy, yeah, into
Yeah.
the
But then he
like
died,
Indian
30
dude.
seconds later. Like,
But
why
then
would
Because
the
he
that-
had
why
been
did
died
they-
for so long. It's like his consciousness
But then
probably
like they brought
couldn't
Gemma
lie.
Chan back as herself in her own body.
Yeah.
But she was a fresh death.
But yeah, but I'm saying that the point is that's like something that they did in.
Oh, yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure.
It
They
should
were
have
just
been
doing that.
because that was fucking crazy. That was
Yeah,
like.
that was wild.
What if the kid was like literally the mind of his own child or something? Then it's even more reason for him to care. You know what I mean? What if he was like what if he would? I don't know, man. It's just that movie. It's like
Yeah,
one of
that's
those
so
things.
like so much like could have had potential.
It was one of those.
It's
Yeah.
like one of those things where it's so close but so far. But was it really that close? I mean, there's like things.
It
that
was
skirted around
because
the edges.
it just
Like,
had
you
the
could've-
elements
like you said,
there
you
for a
could've
fun
had
movie.
an Avatar like franchise, but it just wasn't that interesting.
Man.
You know, this could be like the AI kind of futuristic
I
franchise.
feel like honestly, it
I
felt like
think
an
it's
AI
dumb.
written
It's
movie.
too bad
kind of,
too.
now that we're saying it, just like it felt kind of like a hodgepodge of a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, just
without
with- yeah.
like really like much purpose.
Like, the
or
subject
soul,
matter is interesting.
ironically enough.
but
Because
Yeah,
the
it's
subject matter is
visually-
relevant right now,
Yeah,
but it's
really,
not
yeah.
like they made a
Well,
great
But
movie.
they
And it
didn't
looks
know what to
good,
do with
so-
it.
Yeah, but
It's like if you made
they slapped
Blade-
some shit together,
if
put on
you
the
like
screen.
put Blade
Blade
Runner
Runner,
like so
yeah.
superficially in the Vietnam War, and that's basically what this movie.
I'll
was.
go for that. That was kind of the vibe, yeah. Blade
but
Runner
worse.
because the tech was like all over the place. It's
Yeah.
like they had advanced tech, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You got robots working for you, but they're working in a field.
Everyone
in
does-
Asia. Like,
yeah, it's-
wait, what?
So
Like, would you be mass producing
America
everything? Like-
doesn't have AI, but then they still have AI.
yeah,
But
because
they
they
have AI.
banned it.
It's just-
but I guess they
But how could they
banned
ban it? But the military is literally
I know,
sending
I
out
know.
AI
I mean,
drones,
that
and then they
kinda
have a
makes
whole
sense.
section said AI, and it's a bunch of cloned people. Like,
Yeah.
what's what?
Yeah,
There's
that's,
no rules.
That was
I mean, you know,
That
parallels
legit,
to,
though.
to yeah, to
Some
government.
World War II
Yeah.
type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of like a Barbie-Heimer situation where, like, you know, Taylor Swift, you know, her creator. I feel like it's like way more of an uneven balance. Where Taylor Swift, I can't imagine that's worse than
I don't
the
even
creator.
know.
was.
I am sure that Taylor Swift is doing great in the
Yeah.
box office.
Yeah.
I don't think
Right.
Creator did that high.
That too,
I could be
yeah.
wrong.
I can't imagine that. That was
Rate it. What's our go?
5.5.
A 3.
I hate to do this. 2.
Okay, all right.
Hold on. For the visuals, maybe 3.
Jeez, you guys are savage. I don't give it a 6.
Damn.
And I didn't even like it.
I thought I
Whoa.
was gonna be like the harsh one there. I thought everyone was gonna be around the same thing. That's like, I feel like,
Jeez.
I mean, like it
That's
was
like
not
a
good.
4. That's
It
like,
was
who?
Definitely somewhere between 4 and 6.
That
I
is
really
painful, dude.
was
Yeah,
disturbed
maybe
every
at
time
4.
like an Asian
Now I
person
feel
was killed.
bad.
That hurt me.
Well,
Just
they were
like-
doing that a lot.
It was the whole movie,
Yeah.
and the fact that they just made him robots, so you could be
Mindlessly
even
killed,
more
yeah.
like, oh, we're still PG-13, but it's like clearly just like,
I'm like,
brutalizing,
okay,
like,
everyone's
Asian
dead. We get it.
Yeah, they're using
non-combatants.
lasers,
Yeah.
but there's like
Yeah.
big blood kind of spots on them all.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Man.
it could have been like a Star Wars where it's like, yeah.
Yeah, like, pew,
Wild.
ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just falling, you're dead. We get
One
it.
thing I did
Little
enjoy,
burn
I
like you
liked
did.
how the Roomba head people were like really jerky and kind of moving around, like all. I thought I guess that's sort of a visual effects. I think that it's like the people, the fine folks who were behind the physical production of the movie did a good job. $80 million. That
It did
was
look, it
a
looked good, but that's
visually
not enough.
speaking. I mean, the writing and the acting is a whole nother fucking story. But
Hey,
it's like how
Hollywood,
Game of Thrones,
no,
you
you
know,
gotta
like
have good
final
graphics.
seasons, they look great. You know, everyone is like on screen doing what they're supposed to be doing, but then just whatever's happening is just sort of like, For the people listening at home, I gave a thumbs down
I
sign.
was, like you said, you were bored throughout, like checking your, like, when is this gonna end? Like, I felt that. I felt that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it was a very aggressively just meandering and long movie. Like, my God.
Yeah. Because they
Easily.
really could have cut like a good, not an hour, that's crazy, but at least
Yeah,
like
it's
20
half
minute of that film could have been
Yeah.
gone.
I mean, I think
Like,
there's
it,
just like
like, lingered.
trimming the fat. I mean, cut out the entire thing with the friend that he went to, who had like the wife who gave him the ice cream and whatever. That entire subplot, just axe that out. That's 15, 20 minutes right there.
yeah.
What was
And
the whole point of that scene?
So
just to
that-
say that the Maya is Nirmata.
They-
That
they-
was the whole thing, was just, but he could have just walked in there, him got shot,
They
and he
could have
said
had
that.
Ken Watanabe just tell him all that information right up front.
Yeah,
They
that's
knew, he
what-
knew who the kid was. He could have said, this kid is more
He
advanced.
hadn't met him yet though.
Okay, but whenever he does meet him, he
Again,
doesn't need to
right,
have
right.
me two separate like gatekeeper characters just giving
Yeah,
new
for sure,
information.
for sure.
Especially when it's already like that bloated, you know? Which is just like sort of
That's
empty
not a-
calories talking about bloat there. That was just not.
Because Ken Watanabe was an important character, but I guess like he was maybe the
important
only.
because he was a recognizable actor and he was around, but they didn't do.
Well, I mean, he was
plot.
the guy from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, he was there like the whole time. He
But what
started
did he
out with
do?
them.
Like, what did he
I have
actually
no
accomplish?
idea.
Did
what
he live or
did.
die? Was he alive at the end?
He was alive.
He was. Okay.
Yeah.
That's.
He's AI. They don't die.
Yeah.
Unless the
they,
head.
they did
unless
the
you blow up
grenade
the
being
head,
stuck
maybe.
to people's
It's like
backs
the
twice.
zombies.
And
which,
that when my
you know,
guy was sitting there crying with the girl, like, he dead. I'm like, bro, take her
Yeah.
chip out and just
Yeah.
swap her into a new
Why
bike. Like, what are we?
Yeah, new
Everyone's
body.
doing it.
Like, what does death even mean in this world? They have the internet.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
Kind
just
of
like,
cute though.
the,
He's
if
in
the
there crying.
consciousness can be,
Oh,
I'm gonna
man.
have to remake her.
like consciousness can be put on a flash drive. They have the internet, right?
Yeah.
Just like literally, just Wi-Fi airdrop your brain. into
Yeah.
another body.
That's very
That's what
cool.
I would be doing.
That would have been fucking that would have been really genuinely intimidating if that was like okay, that's like the
Have we
robots.
seen that? Like a character who just can look into another like robot's eyes and jump consciousness? Is that a
Fucking
thing?
sick. That would have been. They
That's
should have
not a-
done
Yeah,
that.
that could have been.
But that, I mean, I would have made
That's that
the.
Terminator
I
18.
just put like to make the humanities more on their heels because it didn't feel like, oh, we have this fucking gigantic, like weird glowy blimp thing, whatever the hell, the nomad, whatever. And now they go, oh,
Yeah.
that's our big fucking
Yeah.
thing. But like,
Did they ever say like
what
what was
even-
the point of that whole thing?
Of what, Nomad?
Yeah.
To hunt the robots.
yeah, it's just like.
But
kind
what,
of
I didn't understand. It was like,
wasn't effective.
yeah, like there weren't there rules like it couldn't go over New Asia or it could go over New Asia. It's like
Yeah, I
I
think
couldn't.
It was just
only
like
over-
monitoring. It was just like a military kind of.
So how come the
surveillance
robots
thing.
couldn't?
Chilling.
They have robots have weaponry. They have all the resources of like. I mean, they literally said all of New Asia, whatever that is, because I have no idea what New Asia actually encompasses. Is that like just like fucking coastal Asia? Is it the entire fucking
I think it was
continent?
just a
Like,
reason to
it's
hire a
all
bunch of
of-
Asian
it's
people.
all-
That's all it was, just an
all of
excuse.
I
Asia
mean,
in one.
all right, but like
Keep it
so,
diverse cast.
like there's no means to fight this flying ship. They can't shoot a rocket at it.
Man, how can AI
They had
not get onto a ship that is electronic?
They,
like
all right,
didn't
they
make
had
any
the big
sense.
tanks. They slap a fucking.
Was it pretty recent that it was?
Launched or whatever.
Launched,
I don't know.
Oh, man.
The- early on in the movie, I had the gigantic fucking Goliath tanks rolling.
Was that early?
One-
That felt like it
one
was
per-
just the middle, and I'm
one
like,
person
oh.
slapped the
Trying to
fucking
find
thing.
this, like,
It blows up the whole
Nirvana
fucking tank. They couldn't do that for the
Yeah.
ship in the sky.
They
Yeah,
couldn't do that to the
shit.
other 3 ships that were rolling around. I'm
It's
like,
like-
dude, you already blew one up. Like, you
Yeah.
saw how easy it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that was.
It's
But
tough to
even
watch.
from the perspective of Nomad, like, why were they waiting to find this?
The special
Nirvana?
places?
Yeah, why
Yeah.
they could have just
Blown everything up?
laid waste. The
We
whole
saw they
thing.
only had like 20 bombs.
Yeah, because they were
Dude,
like, I
that's
mean, I
enough.
guess they started.
That's enough.
Yeah, like I guess they. Where did they even
the place
find
didn't
the
look that big, to be honest.
villages or the
I don't
cities?
even. Did they take? Oh, they took the kid and scanned the kid. I forgot
So
about
the
that.
kid knew where the city.
I guess I don't actually really know
It
how it
was
went
some
down. I don't know.
fucking shit.
Like they just had the kid in the chair and
Oh
it just
my
jumped
God,
really
yeah.
far ahead.
It feel like you know,
okay.
like these types of. Can't think of another. I'm trying to think of another example.
Temple
But
kinda
the more you think about it, the more it kind
I
of
like
just like
Temple.
what the. It just kind of
Look
makes
like
your
a
head
Daft
hurt.
Punk
Being like,
album.
what are we even? Like trying to make sense of it. It's like, what are we even doing here? This,
Yeah.
they
Don't
putting
try
more
to make
thought
sense of
into
Movie
it.
doesn't even deserve to
Oh
be
man.
thought about to that level.
Uh,
Well,
yeah.
we out.